I have some terrifying news here from the International Business Times. This explains some new issues involving climate change. They say smallpox was one of the most deadly diseases on Earth. The BBC estimates that in the 20th century alone, the disease took around 300 million lives. 300 million. The disease was eradicated in 1980, but a new report suggests that climate change could bring smallpox back. The bodies of victims of a smallpox outbreak that occurred in Siberia in the 1890s are in danger of being exposed because the permafrost layer of soil in which they are buried is melting. The bodies could still carry traces of smallpox, which means the disease may be unleashed after 36 years of eradication. The permafrost of the Yakutia region usually melts between 30 to 60 centimeters a year, but this year it melted more than a meter. Now, if you think that this is all hype, listen to this. They say, earlier this summer, an anthrax outbreak in the same area of Russia was traced back to a reindeer corpse from 75 years ago that had thawed. In total, the disease killed around 1,500 reindeer and led to the hospitalization of 13 people, including 4 children. So, in other words, what they're explaining is this isn't unprecedented. Because of climate change, you had a reindeer corpse from 75 years ago exposed that unleashed anthrax. As a result of that, you had, many reindeer who were killed and many people who were hospitalized as a result of it. And it could get worse, and it could be with smallpox. Now, again, a reasonable response to this would be, well, hold on now, but we eradicated it before. We could just eradicate it again. You know, we got the vaccine, and 1, 2, 3, we're done here. Except, it's not like there aren't regions of the world that don't have the resources to get the smallpox vaccine. And, it's not like in fucking rural Siberia, you're going to be like, oh, look, there's a place where we can get a smallpox vaccine. No. So if there's an outbreak, it obviously starts in a place where they don't have the resources to fight back against it, and then it spreads, and it spreads more, and it spreads more, and it spreads more, and next thing you know, you have a real issue on your hands. So, I mean, this is... I thought I was well-versed in understanding all the downsides of climate change. No, apparently not. Apparently there are many that I haven't considered, and this is one of them right here. The permafrost melting is its own problem. So, that speeds up climate change and the greenhouse effect in disastrous ways. But now there's this other angle of it, which is, people were kind of buried there, and they had smallpox, and then it could release smallpox again, and are bad? Okay, we need to really take this seriously. Every time I read a climate change story, I'm immediately reminded of Bernie Sanders and what he said. Let's treat climate change like a World War II level threat. Now, to people who don't really know the science, that sounds crazy. Like, what do you mean? Nazis were fucking shoving people into gas chambers. How can you compare anything to that? Well, when you get all of the specifics of what's going to happen, the more you go down the road of climate change, you go, oh, I see. It basically fucks everybody. So people always point to sea level rise and say, well, we're going to lose some of the big cities, and that's a huge problem. Yeah, that is a huge problem. But I always say, dude, that's like actually one of the lower problems on the list of problems associated with climate change. How about wars over water? It's a weird thing to conceptualize. It's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen. A lot of second world, third world countries have limited resources. They're already in areas that are struggling with the amount of water that they have. What happens when it gets less and less and less, and everybody can't live on it, and then there are conflicts over water? That's fucking crazy to think about, dude. That's absolutely crazy to think about. What happens when food prices shoot through the roof across the board because of extended drought? What happens when there's literally trillions of dollars in damage every year from increased natural disasters? Climate change is not just, oh my God, it's hotter and that's the end of the conversation. No, you have extremes on both ends now. So whatever blizzards that you get in some places are actually worse and do more damage. And you get these wild swings and this weather which is unpredictable but extreme. There's so many problems associated with it and so many downsides, and we're just not taking it seriously enough. I mean, you think maybe smallpox will be the one that make people go, oh, yeah, maybe this is an issue. Maybe we should do something. We got to go full speed ahead toward green technology and renewable technology and wean ourselves off fossil fuels because we simply can't go on like this because we're threatening the stability of the world. And we're not only fucking future generations, now we're just fucking our generation. I mean, think about that. It's not something that's off in the distance that you have to worry about. It's happening right now. The Middle East, by the end of the century, can be uninhabitable, according to climate scientists. So they're saying the temperatures will get so hot there that humans can't survive. They just can't survive. It's too hot for human survival. You think you got a refugee crisis on your hands now? With the war in Syria? What happens when the entire region clears out? By the way, this may be the only argument that makes right-wingers go, okay, you know what? Maybe we should address it. Maybe we should address climate change. We don't want them damn Muslims coming here. You know, and by the way, it's not just about that. It's at that point, it's just about resources. I mean, Germany it has so many refugees now that their resources are strained. They can't take anymore. They're not able to take anymore. So what do you think is going to happen when it gets way worse and all those countries have to pour out because it's just too hot for human survival? These are real questions now. I mean, this was unthinkable not that long ago. Now it's like scientists are saying, no, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. Look out, dude. Look out.